What is going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. Happy Summer Olympics. Wasn't everybody excited to see that opening ceremony, to see people who hate America holding our flag and all of the other nonsense that has happened? But we are here. We're live. Joined by Fear the Beardo. What's up, Beardo?
Nothing much. This is these satanic rituals in the Olympics. This is nothing new. I mean, we've seen it's like the past three Olympics. We've had some type of weird satanic ritual. Remember the one before COVID? They like pretty much predicted COVID. There was all those weird hospital beds and people in hospital beds and nurses, and then they had like the drone show with death itself hovering over the arena. These Olympic ceremonies have always been weird, and they're just getting freaking weirder.
So the Olympic ceremonies have always been, it's like this artistic expression depending on what country you're in, right? We see different things like the Beijing Olympics, trying to honor China. We see like what they did in Athens, what they did in Russia. They're not all like this. There's always maybe a little weird fucking thing here or there. The degeneracy we saw on display was unlike anything we've ever seen before. It was fucking outlandish and disgusting. And of course, we're going to get into that. Also joined by John Matrix from Black and White Sports. What's up, man?
What is going on, everybody? If you thought the 2021 Olympics were crazy, I mean, that was actually wokeness in the sports. This stuff here, man, took it to a whole nother level, man. If you thought the Gwen Berry stuff was crazy, nah. That ain't nothing compared to what's actually going on right now. So,
yeah, it's legitimately insane. Legitimately insane.
Straight up blasphemy.
Go ahead, Beardo.
It's blasphemy.
You turned it down way too much.
Yeah.
So
you were really hot at first, then you got it to a good level.
We were here like beforehand, before the stream started. Beardo was testing on his mic. It sounded perfectly fine. Then as soon as we did the intro and he talked, it was fucking blaring loud.
I don't know what's going on. Anyways, how's that? Better now?
Yeah. That's good right there.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking.
What's up? What's up, Sports Wars?
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's
good. I don't know. It's
I think that's but
blasphemy,
I moved you up a little bit in StreamYard, so hopefully that'll help. So
all right. Well, okay.
I think you're good. You're good. Just
all right. We'll see.
I
saw
good
the
with
chat
it
saying that I was real hot, so we'll see.
You were. It was super hot. I turned you down, and then you turned you down.
Okay.
Now we're solid. We're
All right.
good. Over in the super chats, we already got a couple coming in. Zenny Biscuit for $5 after a rough 15th of the Derby. Fierceness dominated the Jim Dandy Stakes yesterday. Well, very cool, Zenny Biscuit. I drove through Kentucky the other day. Actually, drove by. Was it Churchill Downs? That's what it's called for the Kentucky Derby. So, thank you, Zenny Biscuit, for the updates. D's Webos, F Joe Kelly, go Astros, fuck LA and in and out. Hey.
Oh, jeez,
man, that was a. She's talking about the Dodgers game from last night. The Astros, they were down 5-0, and then they came back, and Alex Bregman hit a home run at the bottom of the ninth, second pitch. It was great. That was a great game.
Did you see Shohei Ohtani's bomb yesterday? That somehow, like, StatCast is fucked up when it comes to long home runs sometimes. Like, Shohei Ohtani hit probably the longest home run we've seen this year in a place I've never seen a ball hit at Astros Park ever.
What did he hit
somehow
that way?
StatCast tracked it at like 440 feet. It's like there's no fucking way. That was a bomb. But what are you gonna do? That was probably 470 to 480, somewhere in there. But it gets called at 443. Fuck that shit. Connor Akers for 199. The Olympics more like the pet Olympics. Well, a lot of trans and LGBTQ representation, so you're probably not wrong.
Gotta love that little brothel scene, the gay brothel scene too, in the opening ceremony.
It was so fucking weird. Our man Dom with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dom, for the 10 memberships that are out there now. And then Mike Hill for 5. So far, Serbia men's basketball team keeping it close with Team USA. Yeah, that's currently ongoing right now. U.S. men's basketball. I mean, it's the end of the first quarter. It's 25-20, so we'll see what happens. United States certainly had some scary moments in these little warm-up rounds. You know, barely beating a couple teams that should not have been close to them in any way.
They almost lost to South Sudan, and South Sudan just got their first, I believe, Olympic win.
Yeah,
So.
South Sudan almost took down. They needed a LeBron James layup in the final real seconds of the game to keep them from avoiding what would have been the biggest upset, I think, in U.S. men's basketball history. They were like a 45-point underdog. Like that would have been insane. And then they also barely were able to hang on against Germany as well. They needed to come back to beat Germany. But let's just get into these Olympics stuff because what we witnessed was truly a display of degeneracy. And I imagine you guys have seen it enough, so we're probably not going to play the clips. In addition to it, obviously, a lot of people were pretending like this was some outrageous, abnormal thing for the Olympics to be copyright blocking things. No, the Olympics are always very, very highly copyright claim heavy with it. It's the way it's been every fucking year. There's a lot of different sporting events that are that way. That's just the way it is. So if you cover it all the time, you know that there's things you can do to clip or speed up or cut things out to avoid that, which is why we didn't, after a couple times trying to upload it, I finally got one clear of copyright.
But I'm going to call BS on YouTube, though, because when I uploaded my video yesterday, it got pretty much automatically blocked. Okay, it tells you where the problem is. So I go back, I cut it out, upload it again. It was good. I schedule it for 2 hours later. I come back. When it's released, it's blocked again. YouTube needs to stop that, man.
Well, I mean, that's the automatic copyright detectors. Again, I had the same issue with mine.
That checking system is bullshit, man.
I had the same issue with, I have this all the time when we cover Olympics or any of these big fucking sporting events. But I did the same thing, had to cut a certain section out, and that was good. I uploaded another one. It said it was good. About 5 minutes later, it finally came through on auto-detected for something else that I had to get out. Took me 3 times to upload it. But
yeah, me too. I cut out a part, and then it was fine.
That is the way sports streams are, or these sports videos are.
No problem on Rumble, though.
Nah, no problem on Rumble. I actually have no idea how copyright shit works on Rumble, to be honest with you.
It's all fair use, really.
It certainly is. And it's bullshit that we even have to fight to that because it is truly fair use. But this is how the copyright detection stuff works. I saw a lot of people suggesting that they were like manually going in. I haven't seen a single like manual claim of anything. We've got a video of this that's got 1 million fucking views shitting all over it. Nothing's been manually claimed at all.
I heard they were doing takedowns on X too, but can't confirm that.
Mm-hmm. They were.
Oh, they were? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, which is, again, fairly normal based off what we've seen. Same thing with like UFC clips. UFC clips get fucking claimed religiously all the fucking time. NFL's better about it. NFL's one of the only big sports leagues that I feel like you don't typically have that problem. But it just depends. It varies. MLB is super bad with it. We deal with bad MLB claims all the fucking time.
Well, Fox Sports is really bad, but ESPN lets you react to anything.
Pretty much, yeah, which is nice. Especially like Pat McAfee clips or whatever.
Right.
You're almost never going to have any issue with that.
Yeah,
one of the few things that Disney is okay with, Disney copyright stuff, there's usually not a problem with it. But anyway, enough of like random inside baseball. When people tuned in to the opening ceremonies for the 2024 Paris Olympics, there's always some weird artistic stuff that happens, but I can't imagine most people were prepared for what they ended up witnessing, which was described, I think appropriately so, as the gayest Olympics ever. And it started out with this whole weird Tinder grinder vibe of a bunch of athletes hooking up in the Olympic Village, which that was strange enough. But then we really saw the true degeneracy come out on full display. So in between these, cool Celine Dion performance or this cool like laser light show that they did, in between all this stuff is just this absolute degenerate, disgusting shit. Mocking Christianity, drag queens with beards doing a gay sex show, literally mocking the Last Supper with fat trans drag queens. Mm-hmm. It's some of the weirdest fucking shit we could ever imagine. And what do you know? Who is in charge of this entire thing? Oh, queer artist Thomas Jolly directed the Paris Olympics. This freak said he wanted everyone to feel represented. Meet the French theater director behind the Olympics drag queen same-sex foreplay queer Last Supper opening ceremony. These are the people who are being put in charge of this disgusting stuff. What was you guys' reaction when we saw this play out?
I refused to watch it. I seen it floating around.
Go ahead, Barry.
No, yeah, I'd seen it floating around Twitter, and I was just disgusted just at what I read. So I refused to watch it. I haven't seen the whole thing. It's straight up blasphemy, and they know that they can get away with it with Christianity. Like, try this with any other religion. Try this with Islam. Like, it won't go over well. But Christianity, for some reason, they just get away with it, and they just keep attacking and attacking and mocking. It's disgusting. So but this is nothing strange for the Olympics. They've been doing weird satanic bullshit for the past several opening Olympic ceremonies. So it's disgusting, man. And I hope that people really do boycott the Olympics this year, because this is unacceptable.
Yeah, you want to know why they're actually doing this to Christians, man? I don't know if I said it on here before, but Christians is just too tolerant, man. They read that passage about Jesus turning the other cheek, and some Christians just say, "Hey, we must not go on the offense." Muslims don't play that, man. They don't play that.
Muslims will cut. If they did this, this director would have his head cut off in some sort of fucking ceremony, right? I do think there's a middle ground potentially between Muslim terrorists and Christians who are not willing to speak out about anything. I think there's probably a more acceptable middle ground somewhere, but you're 100% right that that's why this is happening to Christianity, and you're not seeing a drag version of the Prophet Muhammad, dancing and gyrating with his testicles out.
Well, they'd just depicting Muhammad is offensive to Muslims. Any graven image of any prophet. By the way, Jesus is a prophet in Islam.
Yeah, you'd think that they might get a little bit upset about this stuff. One person was very forceful in calling this out. There was a lot of backlash for this. So many different athletes and people speaking out. Harrison Butker, obviously, been a big target for the woke mainstream media over the last couple months after he said the horrendous things when he preached Catholic values in front of a Catholic school, like during a Catholic graduation in front of Catholic students. The backlash he received for simply speaking about God and saying, hey, the most valuable thing you can do as a man or a woman is start your family. That's the most rewarding thing you can have. He got blasted. He put out a big statement about this entire thing as well. Harrison Butker on Olympic drag queen parody of Last Supper. God is not mocked. And again, we went over this, but this is what he puts out, the Galatians 6, 7, and 8. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For what things a man shall sow, those also shall he reap. For he that soweth in his flesh, of the flesh also shall reap corruption. But he that soweth in the Spirit, of the Spirit shall reap life everlasting. That had over 100,000 likes on Twitter or X or whatever everybody's calling it. But this is truly probably the most disturbing thing we've ever seen from an Olympic opening ceremony, and I really don't think it's close. This in addition to the pale white horse that's, running on the water, potentially Book of Revelations type of stuff, and it's getting called the fuck out, rightfully so. And I do think there's a lot of people who see this stuff and they just have no interest in the Olympics, period, anymore after what they witnessed.
Yeah, I'm not watching one single minute of this thing. Yeah, I'll react to probably some highlights or something, but I'm not turning on TV to watch this. Yeah,
I mean, we're still going to bring you guys coverage. If Team USA fucking loses today against Serbia, we're certainly still going to talk to you guys about what's happening.
Video is coming.
But go ahead. What did you say, John?
Oh, I said best believe a video is coming if Team USA loses today.
Right. So. But I do think that this, for some people, is going to permanently damage their perception or interest in the Olympics, period, at this point. And if this is what France is putting out there as a representation of the host, Paris, France, putting out there's a representation of the host city, the host country, holy fuck, what were they thinking? And also, it should be noted that you can't actually watch the Olympic ceremony on the Olympics YouTube because they did remove it, probably because it was getting ratioed to hell. I wish desperately we could have seen an actual dislike number before they made this thing private or before they removed this video. But they were probably because they were just getting blasted in the comments and they didn't want to deal with it. Very sad and pathetic.
Not only that, they're getting ratioed on every video they upload on that channel. Every single one. They're talking about Athens 2004. They got ratioed.
Pretty much. Pretty disappointing. I like the Olympics. It's not something I'm not interested in watching all of these sports every fucking day. But when it comes to pride in your country and sporting events, these top tier athletes that have been training sometimes all of their lives to like ramp up for this specific time, whether it's in a swimming pool, track and field, whatever. And it's just disappointing and disturbing that this is the end result from all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch gymnastics, track, and swimming because that's the sports that people really actually care about when it comes to the Olympics. Actually, really nobody cares about basketball because people see the NBA every year, but those sports are unique to the Olympics, and I'm still not going to watch it.
Yeah, and obviously swimming world championships take place every year, and there's other things that happen, but this is where everyone's interest is peaked, and people actually care for about a 2-week period about some of these sports that normally they don't.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the fucking athletes, right? For the athletes, like I said, who a lot of these guys are not getting big ad deals. They're not making any money off of these things. Most athletes at the Olympics, that's not how it is for them. Most athletes at the Olympics have other fucking careers, and they can't make a living off doing ads for. I run the fucking 1800 meters in the fucking Olympics, whatever it might be. That's not most of these people's careers.
Right.
It's like an opportunity of a lifetime for them, and it's being overshadowed and destroyed by this really disgusting stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, think of this. Michael Phelps just got ranked by ESPN the greatest athlete of the 21st century, mainly because of what he did for 2 weeks in the Olympics every 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah, and most people are not that, though. Michael Phelps obviously became a marketing machine and a massive draw and all this stuff. Not the way it is for 90% of the people that are there, for at least for our team. At least for the United States Olympics.
Yeah. I'm glad that Michael Phelps is not participating in the Olympics anymore.
No, he's
he's way too old for that.
Well, he said that he could still go out there and do it. I believe he could still win, but he said then he wouldn't be around his kids anymore.
He's got nothing more to prove.
I don't. His last one was. Wait,
he was in the last Olympics. No. Was he in the last Olympics?
Was Rio his last one? Didn't he come back for Rio?
Yeah, he did. He did
Rio.
come back. Yeah, you're right.
That was in 2016.
Yeah,
I don't think he did Tokyo, did he?
No, he didn't do Tokyo.
And that was the one where his buddy, his swimming partner, he was stealing potato chips from the gas stations down in Rio and got arrested down there. Yeah.
Y'all Lockney, yeah.
Yeah, there's some great stories about fucking Lockney out there. Lance for $5. In-N-Out is better than the slop that is Whataburger.
Correct.
I'll be real. I will take Whataburger over In-N-Out.
I will take Whataburger, man. Yeah. Whataburger's fries are also better too.
Talk about blasphemy.
In-N-Out's average, it's solid and the price is really good.
Bad, but it ain't worth the hype.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's not worth fucking waiting in a line for. The only people that wait in a line that long are retarded Californians.
Yeah, Culver's is better than In-N-Out.
Usually, yeah, I would say so.
Man.
Patriot for $10. Did you see there's a massive power outage in Paris shortly after the opening ceremony? God's not happy. Yeah, I saw this picture of this big power outage with a church. A massive church is the only thing that still had power.
The church was the only one.
Now they may have generators or something, who knows? But yeah, not very appropriate. And also you have to consider the what these fucking cities do, like this disorganized chaos to try to create Olympic villages and all this different thing. They probably did overload their shit, but it came at a very appropriately timed moment.
But didn't Paris want to be green anyway? So don't use electricity.
Just don't use it.
Yeah, just don't use it.
Just use candles.
TB Sassy Pants for 5. So sad for all these young athletes who have worked their whole lives to reach the Olympics, and it's completely overshadowed by this shit. Yes, 100% agree. That's kind of what I was saying earlier. I legitimately feel bad for them. I legitimately do.
Yep.
D's Webos for 199. Imagine being a World War II veteran seeing this. I imagine most World War II veterans saw this and they're like, fuck, we should have just let Hitler keep France. Like that's probably what most of them were thinking in their minds. Connor Akers, wokeness and degeneracy are symptoms of long COVID. Are they? Is that it? Long COVID? That might be the cause.
We really have lost our minds ever since COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Fauci's prison butt for 2. Ryan, you mentioned the golden calf they had. No, they did have a golden calf there as well. Just a bunch of completely anti-Christian messaging. Like, just bottom line, that's what it was. Open anti-Christian mockery. Just disgusting. I said in my video, if you really wanted to give a good indication of like the culture of France and Paris, you should just have a bunch of white people getting attacked by brown migrants. I feel like that would be an appropriate like theme to give people the culture of your city or your country. But I don't know. I wonder if all of them were vaxxed. For this thing.
Most of them probably were.
Well, speaking of the Olympics, we got something else to talk about regarding the Olympics, and that's, of course, now this is a criticism of the United States decision, and really it's the I don't know who exactly does this, if it's the fucking people that vote for it, if it's every athlete that gets a vote, but
it's the athletes.
It's the athletes in totality that get a vote for who carries the flag. But at this year's Olympic ceremony, which has now kind of been overshadowed by the degeneracy that we saw, there was one thing that a lot of Americans watched, besides the drag queens mocking Christ and Christians and all these things. Besides that, there was one thing that Americans were not very happy about. And that's the fact that the person chose to carry the flag, a huge symbol of honor during the opening ceremonies, was someone who has in the past very openly, hated this country, has kneeled for the national anthem. And that, of course, is bitch-ass LeBron James. Now, we knew this was going to happen a few days before it did. LeBron James named Team USA flag bearer for 2024 Paris Olympics opening ceremony. And when you just look at it, like, okay, it's LeBron James' his fourth Olympics. He was part of that embarrassing 2004 bronze medal team, but it is his fourth Olympics. He's been around a long time. As much as we shit on him all the time for his failures, he does have a lot of athletic achievements. From that perspective, okay, kind of makes sense. But you have to remind everybody that this is a man who fucking kneeled for the national anthem. This is somebody who seemingly at each and every moment over the past decade has taken the opportunity to label America as a racist country, this or that, whether it's talking about police brutality, whether it's talking about whatever. This is embarrassing that this is the man that we have holding our flag for the Paris 2024 opening ceremonies. And certainly people made their voices heard. Let's watch. LaFraud actually trying to look like a proud American. Sheesh. Disgraceful to have a man who knelt for the anthem be the flag bearer. That punk that won't stand for the national anthem gets to carry Old Glory. Sickening and fake. And there, of course, is LeBron James in his typical state during when you're supposed to be proud to be an American. You're supposed to be standing tall for the national anthem, wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt and kneeling like the fucking bitch he is. Zach Cozart, former shortstop, MLB shortstop, said the same thing. Dude hates America and is now carrying the torch for the Olympics, the flag for the Olympics. Inez Cantor Freedom, the one athlete who trashes America and disrespects the flag, is now the one who wants to carry it at the Olympics. This would be like having fucking Brittany Griner carry the flag.
Yep.
Like, what the
honestly, I'd rather have Brittany Griner carrying the flag. At least, she's kind of made amends for it. LeBron James hadn't made any amends for what he did in 2020.
This is typical of LeBron James. He wants to be front and center. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be the most important person there. I wonder how much begging and manipulation LeBron James had to do to be the one to carry the flag, because he couldn't have been the first choice.
what we heard was that I don't know if Steph Curry put his name forward, or Steph Curry just informed him that it happened. But who knows? Who knows what is actually going on? We know LeBron is a guy that does these fucking backroom deals. To me, like I said, from an athletic perspective, somebody who's been to 4 Olympics, you're like, you would see that on paper and be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But you have to add in all this extra context of who LeBron James is. This dude who says he's fucking scared for his kids, walking around as black kids here in America, blah, blah, blah. Yet you're the one, the proud American, the kid from Akron, blah, 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 who gets to hold the flag for the Olympics. It's fucking pathetic. It really is. And I think people are right to be upset about this bullshit. Him pretending like he does love his country here when he spends all of his time bashing it and disrespecting it.
Yeah, I believe a prerequisite to actually even be on an Olympic team is to actually pledge patriotism to the United States. Me personally, I probably would have had Noah Lyles actually carry the flag. He's been pretty pro-American. I know he's not as well known as LeBron James, but some of the stuff he's actually put out, like during the Olympic trials, seems to be pretty patriotic to me.
Yeah, I think that should be the probably bigger prerequisite. Or sometimes you have people that do have very interesting stories of perseverance or things like that. I think all those, almost anyone on this boat, I feel like would have been a better option than the person they ended up getting to do it, who is somebody who unequivocally multiple times has proven to hate his country.
Mm-hmm. And with the rhetoric of this Olympics, it makes sense if trans woman Brittany Griner were to hold the American flag.
I'm surprised that it ended up being Coco Gauff and not Brittany Griner. Maybe it's because they already had a male flag bearer in LeBron, so they couldn't have Brittany Griner hold it. They needed an actual woman for it.
Right.
Right. Maybe that was the thinking. Not 100% sure. Let's see. Take her for $5. Harrison Butker needs to ask Serena Williams if she values her career over her husband and children. Put her on the spot. Yeah, after Serena Williams called him out at the ESPYs. Oh, yeah. Gung Ho Mac, France was really balling out in that ceremony. Did you see there was a dude, like one of those gay queers they had up there that had his testicle hanging out?
Yes.
While standing next to a child.
Yeah, he had his balls just hanging out. With kids, too. Kids right there. Kids were involved in that. He's standing right next to a kid, and his balls are just hanging out.
Maybe that shit is, maybe it's France, and that's like, I don't know what the rules are there, but pretty fucking disgusting either way. Speaking of disgusting, I think we have to talk about these new quarterback contracts.
Yeah.
Now, hey, listen, get your bag, right? People are offering you that money, fucking take it, okay? Especially if you might only get one big contract in your life. But over the past, I would say, decade plus, we've seen NFL contracts absolutely balloon. And of course, it's as the NFL's continuing to grow and make a fuck ton of money that they're able to do this. But specifically at the quarterback position, which is always going to be a premium because if you don't have a quarterback, you don't really have anything. We've seen some big contracts for people that you question. Should you really be the highest paid guy? Is this really the person that you think should have the top contract in NFL history? Well, we had a couple more deals that happened over the past few days in the NFL, and it's left a lot of people scratching their heads, but also admitting this is just kind of the way it is at this point. The first up was Tua Tagovailoa, who got a big contract extension. Now, if I was the Miami Dolphins with this dude who is so injury prone, especially a guy who you feel like if you put somebody else in there with all these weapons around him, maybe could still be very successful. I think it's a bad idea, but the Dolphins didn't. They gave Tua Tagovailoa $212 million. That's an average annual value of about $53 million. So right up there with some of the top contracts in the league with $167 million guaranteed. This is where it puts him at. Highest players in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence got that same deal, that same average that Joe Burrow got. So they're the top two paid, at least at this point, when Tua signed this contract. They were the top two. Then it's Tua at 53, then Jared Goff at 53, then Justin Herbert at 52. You got guys like Lamar Jackson getting 50 plus. You got guys like, what's his fucking name from the Eagles. Jalen Hurts getting $50 million. Insanity.
Mhm.
Well, the next up, about a day after this, was Jordan Love, who signs the richest contract in NFL history, averaging, again, $55 million per year. Is this just the standard? Is this just what it is? The next guy up, regardless if they're a top 10 guy or not,
yes,
gets
it's
the bag?
The next guy up. Jordan Love he's played 1 year. Now, granted, he was actually behind Aaron Rodgers, for some years. But I can actually make the case for Tua than Jordan Love, because Tua's actually had multiple seasons of playing. He's played 1 season and he got that money. Yeah, he won that playoff game too. But, I'm a capitalist, man. Get your money, man. Get your money. Now, we were talking beforehand, Dak Prescott has to be licking his chops at the money coming down because he's the next guy up. And
he's not
really,
getting it with the Cowboys, though.
What's that?
He's not getting it with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones is not going to pay him that kind of money.
He's going to get it. I'm just talking about getting his money in general anyway. I don't know. Can the Cowboys even franchise tag Dak? I don't even know.
They've done it a few times.
Oh, they probably can't do it again then. I mean,
I'm not sure if he would be eligible for that next season or not, but
probably not. But Dak is going to get 55 plus million based on what we just saw right there. There's no doubt about it. If I'm his agent, man, I'm trying to push for like 57. I mean, Dak has been a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's been an MVP candidate. And they just gave Jordan Love that kind of money. They gave Tua that kind of money. Oh, Dak is getting paid, man. Say what you want about Dak, but he's getting paid.
I like how Beardo's just sitting there thinking about the $40+ million you guys gave Daniel Jones, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm not happy about it. I'm not thrilled about it. Like, yeah, these quarterback contracts are insane. And what happens, you can't pay the rest of your guys. What the NFL is going to have to start doing, they're going to have 2 different salary caps, one for quarterbacks and one for the rest of the team, or just that the quarterback position doesn't take a hit against the team salary cap, because you have seen time and time again, just teams completely dismantle after they pay these quarterbacks a stupid amount of money. Just look at the Seahawks. They had to completely dismantle their defense in the Legion of Boom once they paid Russell Wilson all that money. And did they ever get back to the Super Bowl? No, after they paid Russell Wilson. So, and then you see guys like Drew Brees or Tom Brady and Peyton Manning who, yeah, they're getting paid a lot of money, but they always took a team-friendly contract so that they could pay the other guys around them, and then they would continue to win Super Bowls. So the NFL's got to do something.
Well, you remember when Mahomes signed that 10-year, $400 million contract, some people were saying, man, that's pretty crazy right there. I mean, $40 million. How many years ago did he sign it? About 3 years ago?
That was $40 million. They've renegotiated some stuff.
Yeah,
but
I think
his
40
average
million,
is like 45, like for
but
next
still,
year,
40,
like
45 million seems low now compared to the money.
Well, a lot of that is all backloaded. He took the Bobby Molina deal where he's going to be getting paid most of that once he retires.
I don't know if it's most of it once he retires, but it definitely is structured out a certain way. But that's kind of one of the things we said then. If you do sign somebody to a long-term contract like that, it might not look so bad a couple years down the road. And here we are already. These are the top 10 highest paid guys in the league. Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, all tied at $55 million. Now, I personally think that Joe Burrow is a class above those two guys.
Easily. Not even close.
Easily. I have no issues with Joe Burrow getting paid, being the top paid guy in the league with what we push out for him to do. He's had some injury problems as well, however. That should be noted. But then you go down this list. Jared Goff, okay, he's had some really killer seasons with the Lions after struggling for the first part of his career. Justin Herbert, a guy who's less than 500 for his career, but
he can't even win a playoff game.
A guy, if he stays healthy and Jim Harbaugh building that team around him, okay. Lamar Jackson has been very successful in the regular season, not so much in the postseason.
You know how I feel about Lamar Jackson.
Million.
He's not a quarterback.
I don't think he should be a top paid quarterback. Jalen fucking Hurts.
No way.
Bullshit. Bullshit for Jalen Hurts to be getting paid that kind of money. then Kyler Murray, Deshaun
Wow.
Watson, both getting paid $46 million. This is how this shit can come back to bite you in the ass. There are not many Patrick Mahomes out there where you can give your quarterback basically $50 million and still be able to structure the team well enough to surround him with enough weapons that you can still go and win a Super Bowl. Most of the people on this list that are paying these guys that much, it's not going to work out for them.
Yeah. And Deshaun Watson's deal is one of the worst in NFL history.
Get fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed.
Yeah, considering what they're getting out of him, yes.
Yeah.
You know, if he's producing like Patrick Mahomes, okay, but he's fucking not. And I don't think he's ever going to.
Football.
Say it again.
He doesn't even want to play football.
Nope.
Doesn't feel like it. But I think the most important thing when you look at his Jordan Love contract, the amount of games that he's played, right?
Yeah.
Starts 18.
Yep.
18 starts, and he just got that money. Now, the reason that that's happening is because he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for so many years. So the time where his next contract came up was around the same time these guys who've been playing since they came in also came up, right? So that does make a difference, obviously, in the grand scheme of things. But still,
that's risky, though.
It's a lot of money to pay a guy like Jordan Love. But this is right now what is happening with quarterbacks in the NFL because they just are that valuable.
I think it's only going to franchise tag them if I could.
Well, you franchise tag him, and so you're going to pay him 1 year, $53 million.
Yeah,
but at least you're going to have to pay him anyway.
Yeah, unless you're getting the next guy in there. That's the thing. If you franchise tag Dak, you're just pushing it back. You're punting it a year. Do I think Dak should get that money? No. Do I think he should have got that contract he already had? No.
But based on those numbers,
compare him against a lot of the other guys on this list.
Based on that list, he should get that money.
Exactly. If you look at the current market in the NFL, I don't know if the Cowboys are going to give it to him, but somebody is. Somebody is at some point.
Now Dak is older. Dak is 30. I mean, that's not really old for a quarterback, but he's like one of the older ones, though.
Compared to a lot of the guys on this list, yeah. Obviously, you've got your, like we said, Jared Goff. You've got Kirk Cousins, who, $45 million a year for them just to then go draft a fucking quarterback in the draft. But this is why I said I wanted them to move off of fucking Justin Fields for the Bears. Because when it's time to get that new contract, if you decide to keep him, pick up his fifth-year option, you're doing so with the intent to sign him after that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't sign him, if you do sign him, he would have, the Bears would have given that motherfucker $45 million. They just would have. And I'm glad they fucking made the move. We get to restart the process. Hopefully Caleb Williams, whether he's taking it in the butt or not, hopefully he'll be better on the field than Justin Fields.
Yeah. He's looking good in camp.
He's looking good. Yeah.
I personally don't believe that Jerry Jones is going to let Dak walk because they don't have, it is so hard, man, to even get a really good quarterback, middle of the road quarterback. It is so hard, man. Look who Dak has behind him. You got what's the guy's name?
Trey Lance.
Not Trey Lance, but what's his name slipping my mind?
Trey Lance like the third string guy, right?
Yeah, he's like the third string guy, man. I don't want to see him
talk about
play.
a fucking bust. God.
You guys know the backup. Man, his name is just slipping my mind right now. He's decent as a backup, but it was clear he wasn't Dak Prescott. And it's going to be even hard to draft a Dak Prescott, especially where the Cowboys would be drafting. I mean, they won
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Yeah, Cooper Rush. Yeah.
Oh, Cooper Rush will be starting by week 7.
Cooper Rush played pretty well.
Yeah, he played pretty well, but he wasn't Dak. He was decent though. I mean, he was really good for a backup.
Dak's gonna hurt his pinky, and Cooper Rush is gonna be starting by week 6 or 7.
The problem is also Dak has won 12 games 3 years in a row.
And leads the league in interceptions most times when he does that.
Yeah, the year before last he did. He fixed it.
He had a bounce back year last year. Yeah, he had a bounce back year. Yeah. But yeah, when I look at the Cowboys, who's going to start at running back for you guys? Is Ezekiel Elliott really going to be the starter?
Nah, he'll be a red zone guy.
Third down back.
Yeah, third down back.
Zeke should be a fucking third down back.
Well, Tony Pollard jumped ship,
Deuce
right?
Vaughn or
yeah, Tony Pollard's not there.
Deuce Vaughn, man.
Yeah, we got Cowboys got a bunch of. They're gonna do running back by committee.
Little platoon system back there.
I mean, that's most guys in the NFL at this point anyway. The era of the bell cow back is mostly gone. You just don't have a lot of those anymore in the NFL.
But I say years ago,
McCaffrey. Go ahead.
I said years ago that Jerry Jones shouldn't have paid Zeke. I said that years ago he shouldn't have done it.
And now he's gone and back.
He's back on like a minimum deal though.
Yeah. And this is why you don't pay running backs. We're talking about all these quarterbacks who are getting paid and how it might backfire. But like as a general rule, this is why you don't pay running backs because they are just
unless they're like Adrian
much more
Peterson
easy to replace than a quarterback. And there's a lot of them out there.
Right.
And you can use platoon system. You can get 85% of the production for a fraction of the cost rather than giving big second contracts to these running backs. Yeah. And every once in a while it works out. And I think you could look at a guy like Christian McCaffrey and be like, okay, it's justifiable to spend the money on this guy. He's a fucking game changer. He's a baller. Has he been injured a few times in his career? Yes. But it doesn't really, he is willing to fucking fight through any injury he has as well.
Right.
But those type of decisions, like I said, very few and far between. It just doesn't make business sense. Christian McCaffrey, the only one. Le'Veon Bell still waiting for money. Yeah, old Le'Veon Bell. How do you guys think Kirk Cousins is going to be with the Falcons this year?
So that's a wild story because apparently he wanted out of Minnesota because Minnesota told him that they were going to draft a quarterback in the first round. They still wanted him, and they wanted him to kind of groom the rookie that they were going to draft. He didn't want that. He didn't have to worry about competition. So he went to Atlanta, and then Atlanta did the exact same fucking thing that Minnesota told him that they were going to do. So
I think it was really fucked up for them to do.
Really fucked up. He wasn't upset. He was upset. He was not happy about that. Completely blindsided. I hope for Kirk Cousins' sake that he does go out there and ball out because they kind of seemed like they were kind of just one piece away, and that was quarterback. Like they have a decent defense. They have good weapons. We've never really seen
Desmond Ritter or whoever the fuck. He was trash. Like he was just trash.
Heineke went out there, played like one or two good games, and he was trash too. We haven't really seen the true potential of Kyle Pitts. I still think he's an excellent talent. So hopefully we get to see a breakout year for Kyle Pitts and hopefully Kirk Cousins. I want to see Kirk Cousins do well. Like
they've got pieces there between Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. If you actually use Bijan Robinson the way that they should, like they do have some legit weapons. And if they had a quarterback last year, they went, would they go like 7-10 or something with Desmond Ritter last year? Like they've got legit people.
In the NFC South, they were kind of in it until maybe like the last couple weeks.
Yeah, because NFC South was shit, like just truly shit. But yeah, I don't know. Manny got rich for being an average quarterback. Kirk Cousins made a lot of money in his career.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. He has a very good agent.
But I
he's
think
getting a little old though.
I don't think Kirk Cousins is average. Kirk Cousins is good.
He's good.
Kirk Cousins is good. I don't. He's not a top 5 guy, but he's fucking good.
He's a middle of the road guy, really.
I think he's a little better than that. I think he's a better than average. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's a B-tier quarterback.
Average. I don't think he's middle of the road. I think he legitimately top 10 guy. Now bottom of the top 10, right? Pretty consistently. I think he's been like the 9th or 10th, 11th.
I think he's like between that 10 to 15. So somewhere in the ballpark you're talking about.
He's better than Dak.
He's way better than Dak.
Way better than
Certainly
Dak.
better than Jalen fucking Hurts, bitch ass.
Now, last year, I believe Kirk Cousins only played what? Like
he ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah,
that's right. Achilles. That's right. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that? Not much.
Yeah. He's 35 too, man. So he only has like a small window now.
Let's see. Where am I at here? Connor Akers for 2. You think inflation's impacted these contracts? Well, I'm not going to say like inflation just over the last like year of really bad inflation. Inflation in general is always going to increase things. So it's a combination of inflation and also as time
TV
goes
deals.
on, the teams are making more money. So the salary caps are going to go like the NFL is making more money. So the salary cap is going up. So that's just part of it. Now, if the salary cap started going down because the NFL was not making as much money, you would see over time the contracts go down. That's just the reality. But I don't really see that happening anytime soon. Connor Akers, how good of a wide receiver would Usain Bolt or Carl Lewis be?
That's hard to tell.
Do they have fucking hands? It doesn't much matter. Doesn't
Yeah.
much matter what your straight line speed is.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to zig and zag as a wide receiver. You got to run routes.
There's a plethora of guys who have run, insane 40 times, and people take a flyer on them in the 3rd or 4th or 5th round that don't do shit in the NFL. Because
unless you're the Raiders and you draft them 1st round, Darius Hayward Bay.
Because it's, can you fucking catch? Do you have hands? Do you have good instincts as a wide receiver? Can you cut? Like, what's your agility like? In addition to that, what's your fucking route running and footwork like? What is it like when you get to the sidelines and have to toe tap? Like, there are so many things that go into being a wide receiver that go far beyond just fast. So I have no idea how good they would be.
I'm gonna say they wouldn't be that very good for just the things you were talking about. I mean, toe tapping, route running. You got to zig and zag. I mean, they're just runners. That's it. Some of the best runners of all time, but that's way different than playing wide receiver.
Yeah, and it's why a lot of these guys in college who play quarterback that are just fucking hyper athletic coming in the NFL, they try to transition to wide receiver, and more often than not, they're not like this huge explosive playmaker that some people thought they would be. Because it takes a lot of time and effort and dedication.
Didn't they have a track athlete actually play wide receiver or try out with a football team?
You've had a couple. And you've had a couple of guys that some of them were in college and they were track and field athletes as well as playing football.
Right. Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb was a pretty good track and field runner.
I saw Nick Chubb doing fucking crazy squats the other day, like fresh off that complete reconstruction of his knee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast. I heard Miami also made Tua's brother the highest paid concessions worker in the league. They take care of their people over there. Is Tua's brother in the NFL?
Yeah, I think he's with Seattle.
Yeah, I didn't know who drafted him.
I don't know if he got drafted or
from Maryland, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if he got drafted or if he was undrafted free agent, but I think he's with Seattle.
Let's see. What's Tua's brother's name? I got to look up Tua's brother because I don't know his actual name. Talia Tagovailoa doesn't make Seahawks roster.
Oh, there you go. So he was.
Yeah, maybe he is.
Maybe
he is in the concession stands.
He was training with them. I guess he didn't make the cut.
Well, I don't think Tua should have fucking made the cut. Like the Tua money is almost crazier to me than the Jalen Hurts money in a way, because I just think Tua's fragile as fuck, and I think that I don't find him all that impressive as a football talent. I just think that we hear system quarterback a lot, and that was thrown out there for guys like Tom Brady for a while, stuff like that. But when you do look at Mike McDaniel and like the crazy shit he comes up with and the players that he has surrounded them with, he values speed maybe more than anybody else in the fucking league like that. But, I just think that there's a lot of guys that you could put down there and have success. And I just don't know if Tua is going to earn that $53 million a year. That's a lot of money.
Well, the wild thing with Tua is 2 years ago, he had the insane concussion injuries. So last year he bulked up. Yeah, he went full,
oh yeah,
brain dead fingers. And he bulked up last year, put on a whole bunch of weight to try to protect himself. Now this year he shows up with the perm and he's lost like 30 pounds. The dude is skinny. I don't know if he's on that Ozempic diet or not, like everybody's doing. But why? Why bulk up to prevent yourself from injuries? You don't get injured last year. He was an MVP candidate for a long time last year. And then he just decides, okay, I'm going to lose a whole bunch of weight again. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, the way he plays. And I've seen like NFL posts on Instagram, like the new look Lamar Jackson, he's slimmed down. Why? Why are guys like that slimming down? Like it's not the win that you think it is. These guys should be bulking the fuck up.
So I will say, especially when it comes to the quarterback position, your flexibility is like super fucking important. You look at all the things Tom Brady focused on, especially the last half of his career. It was not about building muscle mass. It was very much about strength, but flexibility in that strength and not bulking up traditionally. You look at guys like Brady Quinn, who came into the league and even got bigger than they fucking were before, who struggled with their throwing motions. Like almost in some ways, people thought it might be because of all that mass that they were building up, and it lost them a little bit of flexibility and changed the way they were able to throw the ball. So you probably do need to have a balancing act, and maybe that's something that Tua decided, like maybe that's something that was recommended to him or that they were dealing with, that it has to kind of be has to be a little bit of each. You got to protect yourself, but also you can't risk losing a lot of that flexibility. Ironically, same thing kind of with these guys in baseball. The dudes who fucking got juiced, like Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa, they struggled throwing the ball. Like dudes who had fucking cannon arms, when you bulk up like that, it's a little bit different throwing the ball because it's not necessarily about fucking muscle mass or bulk. It's definitely about range of motion and the ability to be flexible.
Yeah.
Roger Clemens didn't have a problem with that.
That's true. Not everybody's Roger Clemens, though. I mean, you look at the dudes who fucking throw fast. Now, look, Aroldis Chapman when he came into the league. Fucking Randy Johnson. A lot of these guys are kind of, it's all about the range of motion that they're able to put a ball through as opposed to bulking up to be able to throw faster. And fuck, it doesn't even matter. Look at Patrick Mahomes, how Patrick Mahomes walks into camp just looking like not in shape at all. Not in shape at all, but he's flexible. You know, so I don't.
But some of those quarterbacks, though, they want a little bit more weight on them to absorb the hits.
Guys like Lamar, who are just very skinny, or Kyler,
he
like
can't
those things
afford to lose weight.
Yeah. He's not on that fucking. What is it? He's not hunting for that contract anymore. Who cares? Lamar got his bag.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
By the way,
Nick Walsh, Cam Newton becoming a soy boy led to his demise. Well, I think that Cam always struggled actually throwing the ball accurately, which is part of his biggest problem as well.
Hey, I can't believe it. Hall of Fame game is this week.
Yep.
NFL
It's
season
crazy.
is that fast.
Texans and who?
I don't remember who it is. I need to look it up.
I think the Texans for sure, but I forget who they're playing.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh? Is that who plays?
Hey,
Let's look it up.
Yep, I got it.
Is it this Saturday? Is when the Hall of Fame game is?
Chicago Bears and the Houston
My Bears
Texans.
are playing. Caleb Williams playing. All right,
You might
there we
see
go.
one drive of Caleb Williams if he even plays.
If he even plays.
All right.
I don't know
It's
if
on
they will or
August 1st, though, so that's Thursday.
Didn't even know that. The Hall of Fame game is just a joke, to be honest, because
It is.
Yeah, but it's
the
kind of
starters
like
usually do not play.
yeah, but it's kind of like football's back, and that's what people get excited for.
It is. It is. Mick Walsh, Macron is a nonce. Whatever this is, approved the drag show Friday. Yeah, I mean Macron's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
He's a fucking weirdo. I have my Caleb nail paint ready. Yes, that's going to be the new ritual. Is paint my nails like Caleb Williams every week, for sure. Go Texans! Andre Johnson, the Hall of Fame. Andre was awesome.
Fuck yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was a great player.
Becky says, Ryan, want me to try to get you Bears stuff? If you're going, Becky, that'd be super cool. That'd be super cool.
Oh, nice.
Now that you brought that up, because I was watching Astros last night, and they're having Andre Johnson bobblehead night later this week. I was like, why are they doing that? Now I just realized Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
No, there you go.
Andre Johnson belongs in the Hall of Fame for that beatdown he put on that fucking Titans DB. What was that motherfucker's name?
Finnegan, right?
Finnegan, something.
Finnegan. He beat the fuck out of him.
That was fucking awesome.
Yep.
That was awesome. But guys, we've been going about an hour. That's going to be it for us. We do this every single week at 11. Well, almost every single week at 11:30 Eastern. We appreciate you guys checking us out. Beardo, what do you got going on?
Nothing much, just about the same. Follow me on Fear the Beardo on all social media.
There you go. And what about you, John?
Well, I'm going to be eating after this, and then I'm going to shoot a video because the Olympics have now apologized. They've been in and eat because they also lost a sponsor as well. So,
did they really put out an apology?
Yeah, they did.
Was that while we were live? Oh, 2
actually,
hours ago?
Actually, it was before. Yeah, Paris Olympics organizers apologized for any offense taken from Last Supper parody.
Damn. Well, there you go. I'm sure we'll be talking about that in a little bit too. Truth with S for 199 says Texans to the Super Bowl.
They're contender.
This is what I'm going to say, all right? We all loved what we saw with that young guy down there. Holy shit, rookie season, blah, blah, blah. I think the Texans are going to take a little step back into reality, okay? Just a little step back. I know the Bears are going down. They're going to Houston to play the Texans early or late September. I wish I could go to that game. That'd be a lot of fun. But I don't know. I think they're going to – I don't know if we're going to have a improvement from that. I think we're going to have a little bit of a more normal season from those guys. That's all I'm saying. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your Super Bowl hopes up, Texans fans. All right? But that is going to be it for us today. Appreciate you guys hanging out, and we will talk to you next week. Peace.